records, George Michael, anything.
That's my boy!
Wimp.
I don't know why, but something is wrong.
Rule Britannia.
The TV is crazy and the truth has gone. I might be crazy, but I think we're done. There are people out there who are adverse to fun.
Communism is king.
It's on your news. Even your neighbor has been here. You can see it on YouTube. It's time to shine a light on all the things they don't want you. Tom Generation Next. Oh, it's what's coming next. Tom Generation Next.
Commander Worf, don't be a cunt.
I'm having such a good time.
Kill everyone on the bridge.
Having a ball.
Fuck you, Mr. Rascal.
My name is Owen Jones, a renowned drama queen, pseudo-intellectual and champagne socialist.
That's for B4.
What can I do? People know the truth.
Shut the fuck up.
What's true? That's why we gotta shine a light. Shine a light, shine a light. We gotta shine a light, oh yeah. Together forever, yeah. Tom Generation Next. Oh, it's what's coming next. Tom Generation Next, yeah. Tom Generation Next. The Unity Channel, Zero News to now. Tom Generation Next. We're gonna shine a light with you. Generation X.
Ha! I look like a right twat. Hi, I'm Tom Fury. This is Zero News from the UK to the world, to America, to the Western world. From this average working, I wouldn't say average, far less than average, but working class guy, on my small but ever growing podcast. Actually, you know what? It's been like, I don't know, about a month, something like that. And, okay, it's not the flying start I imagined in my little fantasy brain. You know, I thought maybe we'd get to 1,000 by now, but it's not the worst start in the world either. You know, I had a look over the month's kind of analytics and stuff, and it's like, there's a few days where we got some good views, but it's like, views don't mean much if people don't stick around and watch it. They did. They stuck around and watched those videos. They watched a good amount of them. Yeah, the averages were high. So good start. Good start, especially as like these aren't the top quality videos yet. We're not even hitting stride yet. So that's a good sign for the future. Even the ones over Christmas where I was just really laid back, not really podcasting, we got extra subscribers over from that. So that was nice. Just people, I don't know, just people getting on, but it was really cool. So it was a nice little boost over Christmas. So I really appreciate that extra support and the people coming over and people giving us a chance. Like I say, it will develop as we develop the channel. Hey Dave, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. The only thing I say is we've been getting a lot of our traffic from the live streams. Videos seem to be doing very badly on YouTube at the moment. For most creators, not all, but most. But we've dropped a little bit in the live stream numbers over the last few days. What we seem to be getting a lot of is live stream replays. It's what I used to get when I first had a YouTube channel. And what reminds me of that, what makes that so deja vu to me is the fact that used to happen to me all the time. I used to get a lot of live replay views, partly because people were going for the back catalogue if they just subscribed, but also because most of them weren't getting notifications, so they would have to watch it on a replay. So it was interesting. Also interesting to see, I don't know what it is today, that the statistics for people watching from Britain were at one point we're at 39%. I've never had, that's crazy. That's crazy. And the first thing that entered my head was Online Safety Act. But because my content's acceptable in other countries, don't forget. Just not my own. And that's what people are forgetting here. If I can get it out of the country, it's acceptable. It's just not acceptable in this country. But that's not where I want to go with this podcast today. Well, one of us thinks it's worth a like. Yeah, so that's the other thing. So please, if anybody does watch this on replay, please do hit the like or dislike. I don't mind which, but it's all, and I really don't mind which, but it's all algorithmic for YouTube. I know you get all the creators saying it, and it is very, very repetitive. I don't do all the like and subscribe stuff, right? Because you're smart enough to remember that if you want to like, if you want to subscribe to your channel, you'll subscribe. But I would ask you to press the like button simply because people don't realize the importance of it, both as a tool to get yourself on the recommend list for YouTube, which gives you just half a chance against the other creators, but also the fact that as a creator, when the normal amount of people are hitting like and dislike, which is normally about 10% of people, you get a pattern emerge for your videos. And it's not the only pattern, it's not your only guiding pattern, but it's one of many you use to take quick snapshots at how well you've done or how badly you've done. So I'll give you one example of it. One metric that I would use would be 10% rule on likes. Up to a certain number of likes, let's say views, let's say 1,000, 10%. If I got 100 likes on 1,000 views or whatever, 10%, then it would be considered average. If I got 20%, it'd be considered to be a hit. 30%, I must have done something amazingly right. Below 10%, I've dropped the ball somewhere. Below 8%, it sucks, you know? So it used to be a good quick measuring tool. So that's the other reason why it's really important to me. So if people would, I realize it's a pain in the ass, but if people would hit that button for us, even if they dislike it, that's fine. It helps me grow, helps grow my channel, but also allows me to fix mistakes. I've got my mic on today, but it is windy. If you hear the wind, let me know and I'll reposition the mic into a place where the wind can't get to it. So just let me know. But at the moment, we have got noise cancellation on, so we'll see how that does. But if it gets windy, let me know. It's easy to reposition. Now I've got these magnets on it. I'm not so worried about losing it because it's pretty wedged in. It lets YouTube know we think you are okay. Yeah, exactly. Or even this is what people don't understand. Like, I remember when I had Zero News. Zero News used to have a second channel years ago, and these people that disliked me used to go on and they used to subscribe with the sole purpose of voting down the videos on the channel. And I mean, one, that's not going to break my spirit anyway. But two, what they didn't understand was they'd given me double the interaction. They'd given me instant watch it, because they weren't just flicking, giving me all this watch time. And YouTube puts likes and dislikes in a bag together and counts them exactly like you would if you were a professional WWE wrestler. And that is like, for a WWE wrestler, if they're booing you, especially if they're supposed to, you're doing a good job. If they're cheering you and they're supposed to, then you're doing a good job. It doesn't matter if they're boos or cheers. It matters they're making the fucking noise that you want them to. The same thing. Anyway, I'm getting off on one, aren't I? Sorry. I wanted to actually bring up Putin. And I feel almost guilty because I don't want people to think that I'm saying Putin's a great guy, everyone should trust Putin. It's not like that. It's just, we know what Putin is. We know how we got to power. We know how he stays in power. We know how Russia works. We know about the Russian propaganda machine. We know all of this. What we don't do is acknowledge what we do. What we don't do is acknowledge what our own spy network have done, even when Russia caught us red-handed. What we don't do is acknowledge anything about Russia, and that makes it worse because we've got just as bad a propaganda network as them, and so the EU, so the rest of the world. So it pushes the truth. So you've got their side, and you've got the truth. The truth lies somewhere in between, and it's very hard to get to because there is so much propaganda. However, and I realise that Putin is a smart man and he could be playing with the press. I get that. But if you look at the interviews and that he's done recently, I said to you in a video, I think on this channel, so in the last couple of weeks, that EU had seized some money and of Putin's, and they basically said they were going to keep it for the EU, even though it was Russian assets that they had frozen. So you're supposed to freeze them and then decide what happens, give them back or whatever when all the hostilities are over. But no, they made an outright statement. They were it's basically like a heist. And I actually said at the time, this is like a cash grab. This doesn't come across as a sanction. This comes across as a cash grab. And Putin said in his interview, what was it? He called them burglars. That was after I'd said the cash grab thing. He said exactly the same thing. Coincidence? Maybe. But he said exactly the same thing. He said they're effectively burglars. And they are. They've just stolen money from him, stating they're going to keep it. And not even going to say, no, it's not even like this now, we're going to put this to a good cause, we're going to put this to stopping war, or no. And then Putin, and again, I do realise that Putin has ears on the ground and that he may be using the right wing's disgruntlement of the people against the press. But he also may just have a really good gauge of what's going on. But I do realise he could be playing the press. And I'm not stupid to that possibility. He's capable of it. But I also know that whether he's playing to the press or not, a lot of what he's saying is the truth either way. And this is the thing with Putin. Whether he's in the right or in the wrong, doesn't mean that he's not always telling the truth. And something he said quite clearly, and again, he could be playing on headlines. He could be playing a game. But if he is playing a game, it's only because the framework for that game has been provided for him by idiots. Had the framework not have been provided, he wouldn't be able to blame the people on the framework. So either way, they're idiots. So let's come to those idiots. He said himself that peace deal is on the table. He said Europe have tried to Europe felt excluded from the peace deals. He said, but actually Europe excluded themselves from it. And he said, and have been plotting war whilst we've been trying to, whilst Trump's been, he didn't even say we, he said, whilst Trump's been working for peace. So it's even like, he was even telling the truth about that. He didn't say, well, I've been working for peace. He said, well, Trump's been working for peace. And again, so there could be manipulation here, but tell me when he's lying. And he said that Europe had been plotting, and he said, and then he said, so Europe excluded themselves. He said because they didn't want peace, and he said, and then when they did get involved, he said the only reason they got involved is, he said, because he said you could see in the peace deal all the changes that Europeans put in. Not Ukraine, by the way, the Europeans. Very interesting distinction. And he said, and again, you've got to take his word for it. So, that's where it gets grey. But he said They put things into that agreement they knew that Russia could never accept. Now, I don't think there's many of us that are too naive enough to think that we're not, or not we, but Europe, governments of the world aren't capable of doing that, because we certainly know that they are. And he said that what I said, and again, it's not that I'm saying, hey, look, I'm right. My point of it is I'm out here, he's in the middle of Russia, and we're saying the same things, which was, I said, what was it? Sorry, I said, he said, she said, that Putin was, oh God, forgot myself now. Just give me a second. I just reset my brain. There's a dog coming up anyway, so it's good timing. Come on, Sue. Come with me. Come with me. Come with me. Sue, Sue. Beep, beep. Beep, beep. Beep, beep. Beep, beep. Beep, beep. Beep, beep. Beep, 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 beep. Sorry about that. Right. Anyway, point being is Herr Starmer has been noticed, has got himself noticed by Putin, and Herr Starmer may regret getting himself noticed. Oh, fuck's sake. Sorry about that. He's fully aware of who's instigating and who's not. And I'm not for 1 second suggesting that that America would side with Russia against us, although with our current government. But generally speaking, that's not true. However, do you think America's going to be willing to rush into a war of mutual annihilation when the Brits, with no army, have cocked around, making threats, ruining peace deals, and thrashing around the place like we're going to do something bad and declaring war on them? As he said, it's Europe that's come knocking on our door with war, not the other way around. And that's true. And, different could be said with Ukraine, but not with Europe. And you've also got European Union, which, okay, has some strong countries in it, but they're not ready to wage a war either. And there's all this posturing going on. And the European Union is more interested in defending itself against who? Who's their top priority? The USA. That's one of the biggest reasons for wanting to get a European army. So, before all these excuses came up now. So, whatever Putin is, whatever his country doesn't represent, I realise it's an oligarchy of tyranny. I realise what it is. But it doesn't mean that everything he says is lies. And I think that our government gives him so much to work with, he doesn't need to lie a lot of the time. He just needs to tell the truth, because the truth is more damning than any lie he could tell. I'm not saying he hasn't lied to us before, because he certainly has. I'm not saying he won't lie to us again, because he certainly will. But I believe in these series of interviews, he didn't need to lie. He just needed to tell the absolute truth. And it was more damning than any lie could be, because everybody already knows it's fucking true. And like I say, Starmer, against invaders from the inside, has betrayed his people. He's a traitor. And there is particular crimes and particular punishments for things like that. He's let invaders come in from the outside. There's a particular crime and a particular punishment in this country for that. And now he's provoking a bear whilst holding a kid's tennis racket. And he's putting all his people in harm's way again. The man's a lunatic. He needs to be got out of power as soon as possible, because one way or another, whether it's civil war, civil unrest, global war, or some other fucking damn crusade that he tries to pull people in against their will, or what? All of it together, you can't carry on with his level of incompetence, planning, ideology, and tyranny without people starting to get seriously fucking hurt. And the more normal it gets, the more acolytes of his are going to think that his behaviour is okay, and more people are going to start to behave like we've been seeing them do recently, and that's going to become normal, because politicians like Starmer would have made it normal. He needs to go now, so that we get at least the scumbags in that we know that just would be too afraid to do the shit that he's doing. Before they set a new standard, because they set a new standard when Brexit happened. They've set a new standard when Brexit happened, and that was where a government went rogue. This government's still rogue, really, and we got to stop all this bullshit. This guy needs to go. He's provoking. Don't get me wrong, Russia's economy is fucked. But then getting accurate reports on its economy is very difficult because propaganda. But it's a giant country. So even when its economy is failing, which it is failing, even when its military is failing, which it is failing, it's still a hell of a lot bigger than ours, which means they can keep it going a lot longer. You know, in wars of attrition, they tend to do pretty well. Whereas Britain as an island race has never really done that well. I mean, it's, you know, not saying never, but, and things are different now. So, you know, to be openly hostile to Russia, even America wasn't stupid enough to do, and it's the peak of its power. You know, the peak of its power, America wasn't stupid enough to fuck with Russia. And you've got Keir Starmer with unarmed, walking around like a cockerel, trying to cause war when there's a peace deal on the table. And I do believe Putin, if nothing else, the one thing I believe is this, is when he said the European Union, he didn't even blame Zelensky. He said the European Union put terms into the peace deal. He said, and you could see them quite clearly, what was the European Union. He said, and they put things in the peace deal that they knew that Russia could never accept. And I believe that. I truly do believe that. Because you'd have to be stupid not to believe it. If you looked at Starmer's body language towards the peace deal, if you looked at the European leaders, forget their words, just turn the volume off. Look at their body language towards any talk of peace with Russia. None of them want to know. Turn the volume off. Stop listening to them. Watch what they do. Their body language tells you they're completely shut off to the idea. They're not interested. They want war. They want war. And the proof is right there in front of you in their body language, in the way that they will close their eyes up. They will turn away from the possibility. Almost that we discussed. But it's an avoidance. It's an avoidance of the subject. Watch them. Watch them. Watch their body language. They recoil away from it. Recoil away from it. Just before they start saying something real clever, you'll just see a microsecond of them showing the true selves and their true response to it, and then they'll try to cover it up with a politician again. But you can't hide certain things. And yeah, just if you're not looking for it, you won't notice it. But once now I've said it to you, you watch. And when the peace deals and stuff like that are brought up to Starmer and stuff and people like that, they recoil because it's not what they want. And you can see it. That's what I'm saying. You can see it on your own screen. You don't need Putin to tell you. I think that's why him saying this stuff has kind of hit home with me, because I can see it myself. I don't need Putin to tell me what my government's doing. My government is about to get a load of people killed. Maybe everybody. And we could blame Europe as well, obviously. But Starmer's the loudest voice I've heard. I mean, obviously our media probably makes it sound a bit more like that anyway. But even so, he seems to be the loudest voice. Normally the bullies with no actual fight ability are the loudest ones, aren't they? And that's Starmer for you. And it goes back to that conversation we had a little while ago on the channel about does he know he's going still? Do people still believe he's leaving? If so, is he determined to go out in a blaze of glory that he calls a fight for freedom, or he calls a legacy defining moment, but what he really means is the slaughter of millions of innocent people? I believe he's capable of it, but will he be able to pull something like that off? Is he going? Is he leaving? Everybody believes the political precedent is set, and that no other prime minister has made it out of sorry, one second. No prime minister has made it very long after where he is right now, after some of the things that have just happened. I didn't fully understand the scope of all of them, but I think Rees-Mogg was explaining there has literally been no prime minister that survived the things that he's just gone through, so it's unlikely that he'll survive again. So if he knows that he's going, yeah, scorched earth, or is he capable of staying? Again, Corbyn shocked everybody, including me, when Corbyn managed to cling on to the Labour Party against all odds. I mean, everybody wanted him out, everybody. And he still clung on to power. That was crazy. So we've seen what they're capable of when they're determined. And they are determined. Beep. Beep. Sorry. Sorry, I just, every now and again, it's not often around here, but every now and again you just have to watch your back. More so with the dog, really. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, don't get me wrong, it's nothing, but you just got to be careful sometimes. Have your eyes on, do you know what I mean? Well, it's a shame we can't get more people on at the moment, but I realise it's Christmas period and I'm starting a new channel. It's not easy, but we've done all right over Christmas, in fairness, and we are growing. And yeah, every metric is kind of climbing, which is good. So we are going the right direction. And Getter's now starting to accelerate again, which is cool. Getter, thank you. We're growing a little bit more quickly. We've sped up a little bit. So I don't know where it's going to end on Getter. I really don't. I don't know if it's going to reach the ceiling soon or if it's just going to keep growing. I have no idea. But the larger that window to the US and to the world on Getter, the better. Because I really do want to have a window to the UK and a window to the US. I truly believe we need a window to the US to warn them and to help them and for them to document what's going on here. I really believe we need that window open. See, when I first started doing all this stuff, before I started doing all this stuff, meaning when I was a alleged sailor of the high seas and pretty prominent at it too, and when I ran a website called Chaos Central, I didn't really see myself as an activist back then, but I was, and I just didn't see myself as that. No, I can't remember the original point I was making. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anyway. But no, we're let's get back. So we're growing, and yeah, I just let's hope it continues. Like I say, the good thing is we're growing, and I don't even feel like we're sort of out of first gear yet in terms of video structure, timing, things like that. So that's a good sign. What wasn't a good sign was last night, me failing to get going. Feeling a bit like that today. But, you know, I am trying to do, it's because I want to do constant content for you guys, but I also want to do good content. And the two actually do clash. Because walking around the field talking to you is one type where you've got to have your mind in gear, but doing the other one is time. So, yeah, one type of video battles the other type of video because they're made completely differently. one's done in the moment, has to be pre-planned in a way, and the other one, although pre-planning as well, is it's all about post filming, and yeah, it takes longer, but you get better results, you know. So, but you don't have that connection we've got now, so it's give and take. So the idea is to try and get quick enough again to do a live stream, and then you know, not every day, but a live stream, and then an edited video. If I could do that, I'll be quite happy. But it's just getting the balance right. Look, for me, I don't know what other people like, but for me, a live video and an edited video are such different experiences to make that I find it difficult sometimes to switch from live mode to editing mode and back, because they're just totally different creative experiences for me. Yeah. And also I was talking to AI about the fact that John Cleese talked about something called open mode and closed mode. Open mode being the one where anything can happen, you know, dragons can come out your ear, stuff like that. Closed mode being the one where you've got to make those dragons coming out your ear make sense in the script, and do the hard work that makes it make sense. So, and he was saying that's why you wouldn't want open mode when you're boarding a plane, because you might decide to walk off the side of the wing or something to see what it felt like. So these two modes were there for a reason. And I feel like open mode has been open to me constantly recently, and the ideas and the creativity had been flowing like it hasn't been in years. Closed mode, however, has been harder to access. It's almost like I've had an overflow of creativity and an inability to switch off the tap when I'm full and go, right, closed mode. I always used to be able to do the closed mode, but at the moment too many ideas. I'm becoming an idealist. No, too many ideas, and I don't know. I need to kind of scratch them down a little bit. But I did want to come on and talk about Putin a bit today, because it's kind of important to me. There's other things to talk about. Don't think I'm out of ideas. It's just that, again, until I've made the video I want to make. So come here. Until I've made the video I want to make, then sorry, there's someone coming. Come here. Until I made the video I want to make. What? I can't remember. I need to do this. Come here. Here, Sue. Come here. Now, here. All right, Sue, here. Headshot dead. All right. Headshot dead. Had a good Christmas? Yeah. Good. All right. Stay, Sue. Stay. Sue. No, please don't let me down. Good girl. See you later. Good. Happy New Year. Good girl, Sue. Good girl. Sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. She nearly let me down then. They had a dog with them, and both were off the lead, but she went to go after the dog, which is no territory. But she listened, so she got away with it just. She listened. So as long as she listens and doesn't do it, then yeah, she gets a mark for it still, you know. So hey, Spawn. Good to see you, my friend. To see you. That's enough. Remember, I don't get all the comments through on here, by the way, as well, guys. Hi, Grumps. Welcome to the chat. Afternoon to, Grumpy Granddad. I find it amazing to watch the Ukraine war videos from both sides. Both say the other is imminently going to lose. Propaganda. Absolutely. And by the way, right, so there are, just so people understand, because a lot of people see these videos and go, traitor, and it's like, oh, come on. Like, if you don't believe that we're capable of just the same propaganda of the Russians, you're being naive. Like us, America, we got caught bugging the Americans in the Oval Office. They got caught bugging our number 10. We're no different from the Romans. And in this case, and we will use propaganda against Russia. And I just say this: the Russians are putting in newspapers at the moment in America and Britain that right-wing family values have been lost in the West, which will ring bells with a lot of people, and that a true sort of man looks after his family, and all these right-wing family values and Christmas and everything else that everybody's been moaning about in the West are available in Russia. All you need to do is sign up and go move there. And make no mistake about what I know about Russia. That's a mistake. And 1,500 people have done it, and they found that, oh, surprise, surprise, they are followed around by the FSB. They are interrogated. They are sent to war on the front line. Not seen by their loved ones for months, possibly years, we don't know yet. This is what happens when you buy into Russian propaganda and you believe that kind of bullshit. You really thought they were going to give you Western lives in Russia, you know? And not that I'm saying these people deserved it, I'm just saying, like, you know, that's crazy. So don't think that I'm all heart for Russia and think that it's an innocent place, that, but at the same time, that doesn't give us the right to invade it. And at the same time, it doesn't mean they're wrong about everything that they say always. They can make tactical assessments that are correct. 2, stop. They can make tactical assessments of the UK that are correct. They can make assessments about the threat. So here, now, here, now. They will make tactical assessments about the UK and stuff. And not just tactical, economic, other things. And they're all, a lot of them can be very correct. Whether he's playing the press or whether he's not, he's using facts to do it. And again, if our governments didn't leave themselves so open to be used like that, then perhaps you'd have to use less convincing propaganda. But they leave themselves so wide open with their own hatred of their own people and how much they're hated by their own people. Stop. That they leave themselves wide open for it. But like I said at the beginning, I think Putin just has to speak the truth at the moment to bury Starmer in Europe, because the truth is damning. The truth is damning. There's a peace deal there that they are sabotaging, and by either trying not to take part, and when they realise that things might happen without them, then trying to take part so that they can scupper it. Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine being the so-called keepers of peace and progress in the Western world, the left, and their idea of progress is to go and basically start a world war. With no weapons, by the way, just to be clear. It's fucking insanity. Someone said to me, do you think that Starmer and everybody else are just puppets? And in a way, yeah, because Starmer's only doing what every Conservative government did before him, except more aggressively in some ways. But I don't know. He's the perfect front man, either way, isn't he? He is but something tells me there's a lot of this that's real, because he is a very small man. He's a very small, scared little man. And that's what makes him so Napoleonic in his, not comparing him to Napoleon. Napoleon was actually had some greatness in him, but in as much as his tyranny, he really has got small man syndrome, but not small in size, small as in IQ and stature amongst his people. So he takes out on people in other ways. Come on, babe. So yeah, fuck Starmer. So yeah, if you value what I'm trying to do, and if you've got any hope of where I'm trying to get to, please give me a like or dislike, and help me get recommended, moving. Because the thing is, when the channel's this side, you make a certain amount of effort. When the channel gets to a certain bigger size, that encourages you to make more effort, and so on. And a lot of it's about that as well. It's just encouragement, a word been used a long time ago. and that encouragement makes you try harder. And at the moment, I could do with a little push. It's not your jobs, it's not anyone's jobs, but yeah, all I'm trying to let you know is every little thing counts, and that little like that you think means nothing to me might just make the difference one day between me going, do you know what, I'm going to go an extra hour, or, you know, it really does work like that. It's just, you're trying to, when you're tired or you're feeling down on yourself about your creativity, you're looking for any excuse to keep going. And it can be something as simple as a bit of, you know, obviously not fake support, but genuine support if you really feel it. And then it's like, I can't let these people down. That's how it works. And it's like a cycle. It feeds round and round. Because you do not want to let people down. You know that they're taking time out. Even, you know, like your mods. I mean, Dave and Steve, you know, they come out, they spend their time. So it's like everybody now. It's like, it's not just me. It's like I've got a few people involved now. So I've got to not fail for everybody whose time I'm wasting, if that makes sense. But I'm not wasting anybody's time, because we're gonna get back out there. You know, we started like this. We went to the top once. It's given me a chance to, oh God, look at them lot. It's given me a chance to try out a few things as well, like I said. So, but I wanted to do a live today just to, you know, like I say, get that Putin stuff off my chest. So, because the other videos, like I say, if I try and talk about any of it, it'll all come out now, and I'll say too much now, and then there'll be no point making the videos. They're only little stories. I just want to try something. I want to try giving you quality streets rather than a bar of chocolate, to see how you consume that and see if you notice any difference. You might not, you might hate it, but I want to try that because, yeah, I don't know, I just want to see how it works with you guys. Hey Stefan, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you all. Great to see you all today. I'm sorry, I know I also need to give you a lot more notice on the lives. So, yeah, my schedule's kind of fallen to pieces already, hasn't it? Except for one part of it, and that is that I'm doing something nearly every day. So, I'm as active as I was when I started. This is basically the schedule I had when I started nearly 8 years ago. And that was to stream nearly every day and make videos nearly every day. So, I'm basically doing nearly as much as I was back then. All we've got to do now is add traveling to the schedule. That's going to take, I think, major traveling is going to take until March, maybe even later if money doesn't go right, depending. But minor travel to Southampton, where there will be a lot going on, can happen as early as January. So we will be getting out there. We will be doing something. It's not just going to be a sit on your ass keyboard warrior podcast. It never has been. We've always gone places. We've always covered stuff, as well as sat at home as well. You know, we've done both, because I think when you go to loads, it gives you the right to stay at home times as well. So we've done both. But yeah, the day that I'm not prepared to go out there and get my hands dirty is the day that I probably don't deserve to spend time sitting here having an opinion when I don't go, because maybe I would have lost the heart for it by then. But at the moment, I'm still willing to travel. I'm still willing to go places. I'm held back by money, but whinging about that doesn't make it any better. So instead, we worry about making videos. We worry about growing a channel. Worry about growing Getter. We're about opening that window to the US, which is open now. Thank you guys in the US. I really appreciate it. You don't know how much. You don't know how much. And because it's helping us already grow this YouTube channel here. We're not bursting at the seams, but it's growing slowly. And hopefully we'll get there. And I think the other thing as well, guests and stuff like that. When we were doing it before, we started to get politicians on and things like that, and that all come about by reputation and numbers. So we'll get there again. And it was good when when I had Anne-Marie Waters and stuff like that. Those were good episodes because they were really good conversations. And yeah, to get some of those quality conversations back again would be good as well, because we really did have some good conversations on Zero News. I even found an old one of me and Vin. I'm going to ask him if he minds me posting it, but I think it's from 2021, 2022. So I'm going to see if he minds. I'm going to try and post that one if he doesn't. But yeah, because every other one me and Vin have done pre-now, they've deleted off my channel, all I think, but this one video. So Be interested to see what video we did that they didn't delete. They deleted every other thing that me and Vin did. I mean, they really do. Some of you guys don't realize this because I don't think Vin ever really explains this, because I suppose he's just used to it. That's probably what it is. He's just used to it. But they've got a real hard on for Vin. I mean, I think I've been treated bad by YouTube, but I used to watch his videos, and he didn't say anything wrong in them. I mean, he was more politically correct than me in the way he was trying to deal with YouTube. Let's put it that way. And yet, I reckon it's because he had the credibility of what he did in the past and that, and because people were, I don't know, I suspect people were in on it, but he was, he lost, I don't know how many channels he lost. You have to ask him. It's got to be somewhere between 3 and 6 channels, YouTube channels that he had were really good. Started to get big, started to get 3,000-4,000. Then they would get taken down. Then they get to 2,000, 3,000. All proper work done, no cheating. And they start getting up there again, and then he'd be taken down again. And sorry about the camera. I'm trying to fix something. And this would go on and on. Hang on. Sorry about this. You pain in the arse, you. Yeah, this would go on and on and on. So I don't know how many channels he had, but it was amazing. He still had the tenacity to come back, and that's what kind of inspired me to do this. It's like, you know, yeah, look at what Vin's been through, you know. So sometimes he kind of defers to me as having more experience than him with YouTube, but the truth of it is he's got more experience than me because he's done this over and over. But just so you know, they do have a real hard on for him. And I do worry about both his monetization, which at the moment I bet you he's made nothing from, because you don't start making money at first. And I worry about his Sue, come here. And I worry about his channel, because they're bastards, and because they don't forget, they have their little lists, and yeah. And Vin's been a target before. Like I said, they couldn't take him down quick. The only 2 people I've seen taken down like it are Vindicator and the Voice of Wales. Voice of Wales couldn't even open up a new account with a new email address because their IP addresses have been logged. That's how much YouTube didn't want them back. And you know, Vindicator is the only other person I've seen treated in the same sort of way in my little circle. I mean, they really had a thing about him, and yet Vindicator wasn't part of Team Tommy. He wasn't part of Team anything. He was independent. He, like I say, he'd get to 3,000, 2,000, 4,000, but he'd never get beyond that because they keep taking him down. Technically, on paper, he wasn't a threat. On paper, meaning the size of his channel and everything else. But I reckon it's because of his background, his credible background. Like, any kind of veteran will do well with a YouTube channel in this movement. Unless they're a real piece of work, they're going to do well. They're going to get an extra boost. And then if they got credibility and stuff behind that as well, they're going to go a long way. That's just the thing about the movement. People respect the vets and respect the experience and that they've got. And if they've got some credibility behind them, real credibility, that's scary for the system. And so, yeah, I don't think people realise how many times he's made a comeback. If you're new to his channel or new in the last few months, he's had to do this time and time and time again in order to have a YouTube channel. And that's why he really does deserve support, because he's not fighting for the first time. He's fought for his country. He's taken shit from the left. He's taken shit from the far right. He's grown his channel, had it smashed down, had his dreams taken away from him multiple times, and then at some point just decided, I'm going to just try again. I'm just going to keep going, and somehow he's done it. So, yeah, if anybody, he keeps trying to give me support, but the truth is, if anybody deserves support in this movement, it's him. Because he's worked probably one of the hardest, because he's had to watch all of his work being thrown away time after time after time. And he still kept going forward, never deterred, never going to slow him down. I'll be honest with you, I probably would have given up. And I'm just being honest about weakness in my character, I probably would have given up. And that's maybe the difference between me and Ben. he will not be stopped. And because while he believes that he can be useful, he will not be stopped. Anytime he's going to step down, as if he feels like, no, I can be of no service, you know. So he's a great man. And people, yeah, obviously I realise a lot of people haven't met him. So you see the nice guys on screen, the guys with all the great opinions, but he's also a great man. And yeah, he definitely should get as much support as possible because he's fucking earned it more than most of them out there, and he just wouldn't tell you this, because it's just not his way, is it? It's just not him. So, and like I say, he's getting the support. It's not like it's wove in. I mean, Vin's doing great, and he's happy as hell, and he's doing really good. So nothing to moan about. But I'm just saying, you know, from my perspective, he's earned and he's deserved every single fucking bit of it. And he's done it all off his own back. So that's what it used to take in this movement to get somewhere. It's where the true class used to come from, and it's where what you people used to love the most. And with Vindicator, I've seen something in you guys as well that's made me have hope. And I've seen people come into Vin's channel with hope and open hearts and honesty again, and a belief that honesty is possible again. Instead of not trusting everybody, there's this trust that's been developed again. We need that. We need that to be able to see what's coming. So I think a lot of people have been inspired and given hope. So let's keep that going and keep spreading it around, you know? People say we're divisive and everything else. I think the real truth of it is that we want to spread a message of hope, but not false hope. Sorry about that. I hope you heard some of that. We want to spread a message of hope, not false hope, not delusional hope, but genuine hope. So yeah, while we might shoot down some stupidness, it's always about hope. If there was no hope, what would be the point in making the videos? I would just make some other kind of video or not bother. Everything I do, even if I'm seeing the most down or the most defeated, if I'm still making videos, it's because I still believe there's hope. The day I stop making videos, you know, I don't believe anymore that there's any hope, you know? Unless I say I'm going to do an obituary of the country, then you know we're fucked. But yeah, I will, you know. The other thing is as well is that the experiences that I had with Tommy and with other people in the movement, some of them were extreme, and I think they change you. The people that I know that have worked with me, I've got to be careful what I say, but the people that I know that have worked with me, or doing the same job, similar, a lot of them I know are fucked in some way or another. Like, yeah, not right. Do you know what I mean? I'm definitely one of those that probably came out of the experience, well, happy that I did it and all that, but probably one of those that came out of it a bit more fucked up than I went in, and that's saying something. Yeah, I'm just being honest. I'm not, and by the way, that's not me like no, don't think that. I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just being real about at the time. At the time, it's quite a heavy load, you know. In other ways, it took a load off my back. So they were great. I mean, I loved doing it at the time. Please understand that. So I just don't want to paint the wrong picture. When I relive moments, I get very serious. But there was times when I was crying with laughter and that. I mean, there were, you know. So I don't want to paint the wrong picture. But when things were serious, yeah, I was serious. Is the volume back up now? Should be back up now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. As I said, I don't want to say too much because for multiple, because it exposes a bit about me, exposes a bit about Tommy, exposes a bit about people that may not want to have their most inner vulnerabilities exposed. Yeah, so I say with extreme caution, but partly just being involved, to be honest with you, in the whole thing. When I went to the when I went to the UTK march this year, I was alone. I had none of my buddies with me, nobody I knew from the movement, nothing, and I went alone. And I thought that was cool. I thought it would be good to be back out with the people again. But I forgot that I always had someone I knew, or, you know, and it's different. This isn't years ago. And I tried to recreate something that was years old, and I ended up feeling isolated and alone at that demo. And it was actually one of the worst demos for me that I'd been to. I mean, the demo itself was great, but I was all over the place mentally, because I was seeing the Rape of Britain come up on screen, and I was seeing bits that I shot, and it was giving me flashbacks of being there, and I'm surrounded by strangers. I've got no one to talk to, and I'm saying out loud to myself, "Oh my fucking God, I was there. I was doing that. I was that. That was me. That was him. That was." And there was nowhere to go. I was blocked in, and I needed out. And again, please don't be all depressed by this, because it's done, dusted, and it's fine. And I came out having learned a lesson. But at the time, yeah, I was like, oh, what is going on? That's why I switched off the camera and just didn't turn it back on again, because I went from being sort of all right to being overwhelmed to looking for an escape. Now there's 100 reasons why that could have happened, and they don't all have to be negative. You know, it was just a very overwhelming thing to see, for good or bad reasons. And they could be good reasons. Do you know what I mean? It could be just as overwhelming for good or bad reasons, because it's just powerful what you're seeing and knowing that you're involved in it and all that other stuff. So it could have been, you know, I don't know. But what I do know is, yes, a lot of the people that were involved aren't great. Yeah. That's a shame, because I done. Have I got the right phone? I think I've done everything on this phone to make the. I've set YouTube to do the lowest latency possible. I've also set at least one of the phones to do the lowest latency possible as well. I'll make sure this one later on is checked that the keyframe is set the same, because I don't know if I set both phones, so I will try that. But if that doesn't fix it, we may have a lag problem with Prism. Hey, good to see you too, Justice. Great to see you, mate. Great to see you. Hope you're having a good Christmas so far, buddy. Yeah, I've had a good time. I do. So yeah, I wasn't going to stop on too much longer, mate. So if I do hop off in a minute, please don't think I'm hopping off because of you or anything. Just letting out a few thoughts. I was talking about Putin earlier on, and just, I don't know. And I just go back one thing that, like I said earlier on, before I go, this push for me with independent streamers. I've tried to say it in the nicest possible way, and what I'm going to do in future. And by the way, most of you aren't doing this. This is just people. But if people just assume I'm talking about, you know, certain people in the movement, or if they just want to make that assumption, that's on them. That's not on me anymore. I'm not going to keep trying to make disclaimers. Put what name in my mouth that you want, but generally speaking, like I've been trying to just point out examples of it recently. The guy from LBC that went over to YouTube because he knew that's where the money was at. The media that are coming through the back door, the people that we've caught buying subscriptions, all of it, and the privatization of the right. None of this is about criticism of anybody. All of this is about saying we need to ensure that we have independent voices in this movement, that work for nobody but themselves and have nobody's narrative or agenda to carry. Now, it doesn't matter that we've got people who have a narrative and agenda to carry, as long as there's a balance and there are independent people who aren't being gate kept out, who aren't being shut out. I've got no problem with whatever else happens. None of my business. But if you're gatekeeping those people out, if you're stopping those people from reporting because you want to gatekeep the narrative, there's a problem. I'm not saying that's happened. I'm just saying that's when there's a problem. So, no, independent people are what's important in the moment. Plus, when you've got gatekeepers there for the wrong reasons, they will gatekeep young talent out because they know the young talent is better than them and they'll surpass them. Whereas my mission and the mission of some other people around me are find young talent, don't groom them, don't radicalize them, as people like to call it, but at the same time, protect them a bit as well, you know? Don't let them walk straight into a bus crash, you know what I mean? And just also give them a platform. Give them a platform with no secret handshakes, no ifs, ands, buts. If they want a platform, give them a platform and let them show people how good they are without trying to steer them or take their glory away and add it to your own. You know, if you know the industry, you know what I mean. Eight seconds. Still a lot longer than it's open to be. I mean, I tried to get it down to a second and a half. And yeah, it's a bummer. Good to see you, Captain. Yeah, 7 seconds. It's still longer than I wanted it to be. Oh well. I've got an app that should be able to bleep me this end. Hang on a second. Microphone first. So it acts like a virtual mic. You can also run it through OBS. And use OBS as a virtual mic actually. Which is a weird thing to use it for, but it can be done. So have a look at that, because technically, if it does it in the right way, it could actually make that lag appear like it's not there, but it would have to do it in a particular order. I can't think what it is off the top of my head. Anyway, I'm kind of getting to the end of it now, guys. God, I'm knackered. That must be Prism. Yeah, I think so as well. Listen, I mean, the bottleneck with Prism is the phone, isn't it? You know, it's the phone. It's not really meant for this. So yeah. So yeah, you're right. It's Prism. Oh, sorry, 1 second. No, I can't on Prism. On Prism, you can't click new comments. So on all the studios, like StreamYard, the one I'm using, Talk Studio and Prism, you can't. Excuse me. You can't set newest comments first. So you only send your top comments, which, as you know, a lot of people don't realize that means it censors about 2/3 of the comments. So for me as well. So if you don't ask the comments, or if it's in live chat, to say all live messages as opposed to top chat, it'll show you about 1/3 of what's actually there. And that's the same for me as well, but I can't change it when I'm in studios. They won't allow you to, which is crazy. After all these years, nobody's thought of it or done anything about it. It's crazy. But we still can't get all the chat in any of these paid-for studios. That's insane. They were able to do that on OBS and God, back when 8 years ago. So they should be able to do it by now, you know? Right, guys. Unless there's any questions or anything, I'm going to get out of here. It's good to see you again, Captain. I'm absolutely knackered, everybody. But I've done a live now. I'm going to call this one a day. And then I'm going to, as I said, go a little bit quiet until I've done something with the other videos that I want to do. I'm not going to try and say I'm going to get it done by this time or that time. It's more pressure, but you know what I've got on my mind. I'm not going to repeat it all again. I'm just going to try and do it. If I do it live instead, then you know I haven't got very far. But I will say, please hit that like or dislike. It doesn't matter to me. It's all interaction that means something, and that will help me with Google and help me take a snapshot of numbers and see if I'm doing bad or good, which is why downvotes are actually useful. Yeah, because once you start getting a pattern of people voting, then you start to know when you've done better and worse. So appreciate it if you'd hit like or dislike. I'm not going to ask you to subscribe, because at the end of the day, if you want to subscribe, you know where the button is. You'll do it anyway. Thank you all so much for your time. Thank you, mods, for your time. Thank you, everybody, for coming on. I do appreciate you giving me the time. I do appreciate that some of you don't know me. This is a new show, and you may be giving it a try out of some sense of faith. I really do appreciate that, and I hope I will reward your faith with the content that I know we can give you. I'm Tom Fury. This is Zero News. I'm calling it day for now.